Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Hermit Skies. We're logging in to play. I've been told by Mr. Jevin that I should record when I log in. This usually takes a little bit of time as well. Aha, there it goes, okay. Now I've got to move around. There's stone pressure plates and I'm standing on a couple of them. This looks highly suspicious. Wooden pressure plates as well. Welcome back, everyone. Hi, how you doing? I've been working on the base. You can see that the area has expanded a little bit. Oh, it looks so cool, doesn't it? But what's up with these pressure plates? Why are they everywhere? I don't want to stand on them. And is there a sign? Jevin, what crazy tricks are you up to? Could there be TNT below these pressure plates? I don't know. Let's wander around and try and find some signs without setting any of them off. I'm not good at parkour and I'm not good at squinting. Sometimes the pressure can be explosive, says Jevin. I guessed TNT. I guessed it, didn't I? Jevin, I'm a lot smarter than you think, my friend. Let's just. That's not a. Oh no, Jesus! Okay, let's try. Okay, maybe I'm not that smart. Vein miner to the rescue. Hi, now why wouldn't you vein mine all of those? Is it because I'm not breaking it with the correct tool? It could be that. Well, we have a carbon pickaxe. Boom. Hey, there we go. By the way, you can craft this well block, right? Stone and iron. Pretty cool, pretty cheap. It's basically like an infinite water source. You can click on this thing with a bucket and grab yourself some water. What we're going to do right now is just drop down below the platform and have a look and see if Jevin's even put any TNT down there. I've got a feeling he was just playing with my mind, playing tricks on my mind, thinking that I was going to blow up my base accidentally. I was actually more worried about accidentally vein mining it. So nothing on that side over there. Let's swim over to this side, and this isn't very fun, by the way. It's also a squid farm. You know, when you drop down a bit of water in a void world, the squid will start spawning in it. Nothing underneath this island either. I think Jevin was trolling us, people. I think he was trying to give Asuma a heart attack. Anyhoozle, the prank is cleared up and I have been on the server quite a lot recently. I have gotten us a lot of ender pearls, 22, which is really going to help with us progressing early on in this game. And that's all thanks to these endermen that have been hanging around in the base. This is what I do. They spawn every so often. I stand under here and this has been a really great ender pearl farm. Look at that. That guy got wrecked. And there's another one over there. Let's lure this fellow over as well. Or are you one of those ones that ignore me? So every now and then what they do is they just go peaceful and they stand there and they don't mind. You're actually angry, but now you're dead, so see you later, buddy. And we've got another ender pearl to add to the collection. I've also been getting some of these things here as well, and these up here, which we can craft into ender pearls. Now, we're going to use quite a few of these in a moment, and that's not going to be a problem for us at all. But where I've been killing the enderman, I've also been getting some loot bags as well. Check this out. We have 2 artifact bags and 3 legendary loot bags. We're going to open these together and see if we get anything interesting that can help us on our adventures here. We got an old blue bag inside of that bag, and now I've thrown it on the ground, apparently. Good thing I wasn't standing close to the edge, right? And inside this one, I think I know where this is going. Is there going to be another bag inside of that one? It's a piece of bread. That was a lot of work for a piece of bread. You know, speaking of food, I've got some apples on me, and I've also got this pot. If we look at the recipe for this, that is not the recipe for the pot. It's just 4 pieces of iron and a stick. So I think it was in the very first episode I showed you how to farm apples over and over again. Really easy. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all of our apples, and we're going to put them alongside the pot here. And then they get turned into apple sauce. So look at this. You have 2 haunches and 1.5 saturation. And you go to 3 haunches and a load of saturation. I'm not even going to count that. That's pretty awesome, right? So, pro tip for you from X. Are you telling me that artifact bags in this pack are basically troll bags? I just got 2 of these. Okay, mana steel. That's a thing. And a name tag. Cheers. Let's hope the legendary loot bags can do better. Not really so far. I guess that rubber sapling might come in useful. A little bit of armor. Oh, I've already got a little bit already. Okay, and some gold. So I got some gold leggings from a mob, and crafting this stuff is a little bit more difficult than usual, right? I'm just going to let you see how this works, and you'll understand.
So that's pretty much everything we got from those loot bags. Nothing really game changing. Very nice to get a little bit of armor. Saves me doing loads of crafting, right? And we got this staff for traveling, and this might be extremely useful in the future as we could use that to get around our base. But until we have lots of power and lots of Ender IO tech, that's just going to go back in the chest for now. So I've crafted up 3 mechanical users, and thanks to our ender pearls we're able to make these, but also some preparation was needed as well. As you can see, this ender shard right here is made from an ender pearl, and then these other things right here are redstone alloys which you make in an alloy smelter from Ender IO. This requires silicon and redstone, and in between episodes what I did was set up another sag mill. Which one is it? Aha! This one right here, to turn that sand into silicon and to put it into a drawer over here. So we got 2,000 of those, which is fantastic. I also added an alloy smelter to turn cobblestone into stone, so we've always got a supply of that ready to hand. That means we can make loads of the blocks we're using to build the base, and I've been using them over here underneath where we're going to put sieves. So what we're going to use these mechanical uses for is automatic sieving over here, okay? Now the range that you can sieve in is 5 blocks out from the center, which I believe means something really big, like a 9x9 grid. There's actually a space right there. Can you see it? Well, we're standing in it now. That's where this thing is going to go, high. So that will be able to reach this one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 in that direction, 1, 2, 3, 4 in that direction as well. So 5 from the center, if that makes sense. But we're breaking these up into 3 different groups because there are 3 different materials that we can sieve. That's going to be sand, gravel, and dust. And yes, there's other things as well. But those are the ones that we're going to want to farm around the clock. Now, I've come over here to break up all of this stuff. The one thing I forgot to do was to make the meshes. There they are. We got some iron stiff mesh. So I'm going to go farm some string and make some more meshes in just a moment. But I want to give you a demonstration of this thing in action first of all. So we have enough sieves for all but one for now, and that's fine because I'm going to just do a demonstration quickly. Now what's fantastic about the mechanical user is it doesn't require any power, and we can actually make it go faster in the future with grid power, but for now we don't need to worry about that. And then there's one of these settings that'll use it on the sieve, and I think it's use item on block or activate block with item. There we go, look at that. And now very slowly, very slowly, it's actually sieving all of those materials. How cool is that? And eventually it will sieve them and all the things will drop out everywhere, which is a pain in the butt. So we've got to figure out a way to pick all this stuff up, right? But with some Ender IO conduits, we could automatically feed the materials into here and start to automatically sieve them. I mean, this is just some awesome automation going on right now. But first of all, I've got a lot more crafting to do. I've got to place down the rest of these sieves. I've got to make all those meshes, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. So with this series, I am always trying to show you how I do everything, so if you're playing along you can make the same kind of progress, and we're going to automate this in the next episode. But just so you know, this is how you make obsidian. You get lava, you put it in a stone barrel, and then you put water on top of it and it turns it into obsidian, which is pretty cool, right? Like I said though, we're going to automate that in the next episode, but I've used that to create some absorption hoppers, and that is not the recipe. The R button seems to move all the items around as well. Yeah, as well as that Eye of Ender, we've been getting these blaze powders from doing all the sifting, and the ender pearls, again, extremely important to progression. Pulsating Iron is another one where I've had to smelt it with iron to make this, and when we break that down into fragments, we can use it with the binder, and that creates some Ender IO conduits. So now we're going to be able to move around items really well. We've actually already done this, haven't we? Yeah, of course, because I've got some behind there. But anyway, you know how we're getting this done, right? And there was something else I was going to mention. Oh yes, that is the flint over here. So I just got a load of string from growing a bunch of trees to make the meshes, and we farmed tons and tons of flint. So that's made it really easy to jump all the way up to the iron level. Now as we start to farm stuff, eventually we'll be able to upgrade all of these to the diamond level as well, which is going to be pretty cool. But we're going to place down the absorption hoppers in the very middle of these, and the chances are they could overlap in picking up drops from the other sieves, I guess, the other setups, and that's absolutely fine because we're going to have our Ender IO conduits going like this, and they're going to connect to all of the absorption hoppers, and then using different coloured channels we can send the correct materials to these things down here, right? So we can get our sand, our dust, and our gravel over here really easily, and we can use these conduits extracting from the absorption hoppers to bring the items back over. For now, that's going to temporarily go into this iron chest that I've made here, but I've also got some compacting drawers as well. We're going to use that to turn the pieces into chunks. So if you remember how we've been smelting stuff, and I've just reminded myself that I've used up tons of my iron. We've got 30 left, so I'm going to grab some of these, but what I'm talking about is using the compacting drawers. I could just literally place this down and show you. So when you put that into there, it creates the chunk. And then what we're going to do is automate the smelting of the chunk as well. You can see where I'm going with this, right? We're going to make a very smart and efficient setup. But right now I need some more iron, so just chucking that in there. So I've moved our setup that was formerly in that space back there over to this spot. Kind of made it look interesting with some blocks around it, which I'm going to expand on in the future. And you can see we've used some frame drawers here, which unfortunately don't tell you the quantity of the item inside them. But I believe these are mostly full up, and I built a new system which is actually kind of really easy to understand. Now all of these conduits may look pretty crazy, but it's kind of simple, okay? We use a universal channel which is green to move items in and out of these things at the front here, and they act like filters because they've got locks on them, so only one item can go into each type, okay? So at the bottom of each of these machines, the sag mills, you will see this. We have an insert channel black and an extract channel green, so it will take the items out of the bottom here and move them into the correct place. Now the insert channel black is for one of them over here which holds the flint, so all of them get a full helping of flint over here. Okay, and then the only other thing you really need to know is that this set of conduits on the back side inserts the block that goes in at the top here. So gravel is purple. You can see the first two are purple. Then we have grey, which I believe is cobblestone, and the last two are yellow, right? And if you look at the colours down here, purple, the second one in, is gravel. So that system works really well, and it should all work with what we're going to do over here as well. But first of all, we've got to automate getting dust. That's the only thing not being done here, and it has its own channel set up as well. It is going to be the white channel, but of course, in order to get items in there, we've got to automate turning sand into dust. And the way that we do that is with mechanical users. I've made 6 of them in total, so it's eaten up a fair bit of my redstone, right? And I really probably should have only made 2 because I was thinking that we won't have access to speed upgrades for a while, but once we get those, we're really only going to need 1 of them back here. But I've integrated it into this system, and I've also set these things down here to extract on round robin, which means it's going to evenly distribute sand into each of these, and they've all been fully stocked up now. But the ones on this side are set to place the blocks, and the ones on this side are set to break them with hammers. Okay, and then we're replenishing it from back here. Except I haven't actually configured this yet, because I figured we'd probably need some redstone to control this, because currently our dust drawer is actually full. Look at this. I've left the system running for a long time, and it produced all of that as well, which leads us into our next problem, okay? You see these absorption hoppers? They are not so great at picking up the items. Let's put some dust in here. I'm actually talking about 2 problems at once. The first one is that happens, and I kind of wanted each of these to be for an individual thing. The second problem is that the items go flying all over the place, and the absorption hoppers are not doing a good job of picking up those items, right? I mean, they're getting some things in there, but other stuff is going all over the place. And so to resolve that quirkiness, I think we're going to need something different. So over here, what I used is an advanced item collector. This thing actually pretty much costs the same as an absorption hopper, and then you put some glowstone and redstone on it to turn it from an item collector into an advanced item collector. And this one supposedly picks up the items before they become entities in the world. So we're going to try those over here and see if they solve that first problem, so we avoid strange lists like this. And this is actually quite consistent. The items go into the corner of the room, which I find really strange, so we may need to rearrange what's going on here to figure it out. And while we're rearranging it, I kind of need to come up with a solution where we don't have, you know, these blocks going into the ones on the other side, so that we can continue to do all 3 types at once. So this is a fair bit different from what I had originally planned. We've now got a smaller sieve array down here, which I could expand, and we probably will once we get this thing running a little more efficiently. At the moment, it's just about making the materials that we need, which are being evenly distributed in here. So if I set this thing to, Let's see, what was it? Use item on block, or act. That sounds like it. If we leave it to a random slot, then it's going to pick one of the 3 each time. And then as you just saw, it gets filled back up again, because this goes underneath each of these, oh, well, those 3 right there, and it takes from them. So it just did sand. I believe now it's doing dust, and it's probably already filled that back up again. Right, so the randomness of this is how we divide amongst those 3 things that we're using. And then as we produce those materials faster, we can expand the amount of sieves. It's a really cool system, I think. Now, I'm not sure if I set this up correctly. You're supposed to be on extract modes, and I think already it's starting to get filled up a little bit. You can see that the items fly out the side, but they'll still end up back over here. So that one's on extract. This one should be on its insert. I didn't actually do either of those at all, did I? And now the items should be moving across. Excellent. And then these things are going to get moved up into here. So this is set to extract. Again, haven't set it up correctly. And it's going to move all of the small chunks into there and compact them into the ore chunks, which means we can smelt them a lot easier now. We don't have to do any crafting. And of course, we are going to automate the smelting, but that's something I'm actually going to have to do in a different episode, because as you'll notice, this episode has gone on for longer than usual so far. There is another thing that we need to do here, though, is to make it look a little bit more interesting. I am going to put some other blocks down the side here, and we're also going to put in some framed drawers up here to hold on to the other items that come through. Stuff like the crystals and the dust, we're going to temporarily store them over here as well. I haven't mentioned it, but you can probably tell from my voice that I'm sick and that I'm under the weather, and I've been a colossal idiot. I was not happy at the rate at which items were moving from there to there, probably because there was no connection. Didn't realise that though, did I? And I ended up making some speed upgrades, and they're entirely useless, but I guess since I've made them, we can keep them over here. How would you like a speed upgrade? I'm sure you would. I am laughing at myself right now. There we go. So all of those things are now automatically moving up to the top here, and you can see that we're now farming diamonds, emeralds, redstone, all of that stuff automatically, which is amazing. It means that we can just leave it running now, and we will get loads and loads of materials ready for our next episode. Pretty cool, right? We'll be working on this in the next episode, and we'll be doing some other stuff as well. And if you've enjoyed this one, please do leave a like. I apologise for my voice. There's not much I can do about that because I'm ill at the moment. But that is it from me. This episode of Hermit Skies. It's been fantastic, and I kind of feel bad that I didn't do something here. Aha, there we go. Tidied it up. Now all is good in the hood. And so that's it from me this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.